up, people? Rasati out here in Singapore, and thank you so much for joining me on the Night Owl podcast. As always, you guys, thank you so much for being here with me, listening, spending some time, spending some energy. I appreciate this stuff because you know what? Energy is finite. You only have a certain amount of it every day, and then you got to re-up at some point. So the fact that you're even spending any time with me is amazing to me, and I really, really appreciate that. Let's talk about energy for a second because I think that is some really, really important concept that you really need to think about and understand because as much as we talk about our feelings, it is a form of energy, right? So whenever I talk about feelings, I want to express the fact that I feel it is the language of our soul. Our spirit speaks to us in the language of emotions because it tells you when it does like something and when it doesn't like something, and it's up to us to interpret where it's coming from so we can rectify the situation. So going back to energy, I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw this post, and I'm telling you the message was deep on like some other level stuff. So it says here that each being that appears to bring your life apart is actually helping you to become whole. And I understood it almost immediately because I've been seeing it a lot lately. What it means is if you were already whole, if you felt good about yourself, if you were feeling yourself, you feel like you're fly, you're smart, you're, just amazing, and you believed that on like a cellular level, you feel like you are freaking amazing. You are a miracle. You are here on earth with a purpose. You love who you are. Nothing anybody says would matter to you. You'd smile and nod and keep on going. Like, what are you talking gibberish to me? It doesn't matter, right? So if your parents had something to say, if your siblings had something to say, your teachers, your coworkers, your boss, your aunts and uncles, the auntie network at temple, whoever stepped to you and said anything to you would not matter. You'd smile and nod your head and keep on walking because it's like water rolling off your back. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter to you because you already know the truth of who you are. But that's not who we are at the moment, are we? We have been brought into this world, and we may have thought that we were the bomb.com when we were little, but at some point we were indoctrinated in through the education system. We were taught that this is correct and that is not correct. This is appropriate, that is not appropriate. And so we started creating a lot of doubt around what we thought we knew and what the world is telling us we should know instead. So from there, you have the right to fight back. Now, you would think that these people that are, that are picking at you, that are causing friction in your life, are there to correct you or whatever. But the way you respond is what actually matters. So if someone were to say, that you're blue and they don't like you, you probably wouldn't find any meaning in that. You probably laugh it off like, all right, you're a little crazy, but we're gonna let that one slide. But if they called you a word like nigger, if they called you a word like chink or jap or any of those racial slurs, right, you would be offended because you've been taught to be offended by those things. More than that, if they pick at your physical being, something that you cannot actually change, like the way your nose looks or the height you have or the weight you have, any of those things, you can't physically change them in the moment. This is who you are, right? You would be offended because you're told to be offended. And even then, you have emotions that pop up and say, hey, but why do you have a problem with this? Because I don't have a problem with this. You're making me feel uncomfortable. So those feelings are your spirit's way of telling you, yo, fight back. This is not okay. Yo, fight back. You need to love yourself more. Yo, this is not cool. This is not what you were made for. You need to say something. You need to do something. You need to get out of here right now because it's making you not feel so great. Because honestly speaking, if you were to find yourself in a quiet place with no one around, you'd probably be content, right? If you didn't have anything that you had to like rush off to, there were no problems from the day before. If it was a pretty simple day, not much going on, you'd probably be happy. But the minute someone comes in and has something to say to you, suddenly you get nervous and anxious and you start to worry and you start to wonder. You've created doubt, you've created anxiety, and there's a lot for you to consider. Let me put it to you this way. Earlier this year, I was doing great. I had my house to myself. I had baby girl with me. We were spending lots of time together. We were enjoying ourselves. We did what the hell we wanted to do when we wanted to do it. We ate what the fuck we wanted because we could. Slowly but surely, people started coming back to the house, which I'm not complaining about, but I'm happy. I'm glad we have company because, let's face it, I didn't have company until then. So now that I have company, the rules have changed a little bit. Now I need to consider other people's feelings, which is not a bad thing. I'm happy to do it. But when they criticize what I'm doing, suddenly I feel the need to fight back. Why? Because I know I'm putting in effort to help somebody out. And if they have something to say about it, it means that they don't appreciate the effort that I'm putting in. So I feel offended. I feel like, yo, I'm trying here. You know what I'm saying? So that makes me feel like I need to defend myself. I need to come back closer together to myself. I need to protect myself a little bit, which is a good thing, which means you love yourself enough to let people know, yo, I'm not okay with this. This is not how you treat me. Teaching people how to treat you is your way of being more whole in a louder sense. It's nice to be, please and thank you to everybody and polite and nice and everything. But what's more important is how loud you get when you feel like you're being threatened. And I'm not talking about scream from the rooftops and draw attention for no reason. I'm talking about, are you able to speak with an unshaking voice to let the person know, hey, that's not cool. I'm not going to stand for that. Hey, you're hurting my feelings. I don't appreciate it. You need to let me know why you feel the need to say all these things. So when you find the need to fight back, when you find the need to stretch your wings a little bit more, there were times when, my mom said I couldn't do this and I couldn't do that. There was like nothing I could do. I couldn't wear my hair down. I couldn't wear the clothes I wanted to wear. I couldn't wear makeup. I couldn't wear whatever shoes I felt like wearing. They had to be school shoes. Even though there was no damn uniform, anytime she said she restricted me, I felt the need to buck a little bit. I felt the need to push the boundaries a little bit. Why? Because I love me and I love who I am and I love my freedom, and it was important to me. So when she pushed, I pushed back because that was my way of standing up for myself. In those small moments when you have that emotion, maybe you don't feel comfortable enough to stand up for yourself and push back, but you have the emotion. The anger that bubbles up, that's your spirit telling you, hey, a boundary is being violated. This is not okay. When you feel sad all of a sudden, that is your spirit saying, hey, you know what? That actually hurt. You need to do something about that. And yes, that's why we have so many coping mechanisms to avoid as much pain in our lives as possible. But it's because we love ourselves. It's because we want to be whole. We want to feel like we are enough. Why do you think you gravitate towards people who compliment you? This is why they say, flattery will get you everything. Mostly because people like to be flattered. People like to feel like they've been noticed, they've been appreciated, that they are respected or whatever. And yes, it starts with the words first, but over time you start to see that the actions either back up the words or they don't. We are told to do what's right and do what's appropriate and live the life according to the success plan of the community. But what I'm trying to teach you is go to where you feel the most love. Be with the people who make you feel like you're alive and that you're worth it and that you're enough as you are. Now, this is why some people join gangs, because maybe they come from a place where they don't have a family. They don't feel like they're protected. They don't feel like they've got anyone who would watch their back for them. And so they find a group of people who promise, ride or die, we're going to get your back. But it really depends on how the gang works. If it's not a violent gang and it's just, a group of people gang, then maybe it'll work out. But most times when you say gang, it's usually violent, and it's usually the only way you go out once you come in is in a body bag. And so you don't have the freedoms that you thought you would have, but you do have the security. And then it's a matter of, okay, which of my human needs are being met here? And do I really want to leave it because these things are important to me? I want you to pay more attention to who makes you feel good and who doesn't. I want you to pay more attention to the energy you feel when you see a specific person's name pop up on a phone. I want you to pay attention to, the appointments that you have and whether you look forward to going to those appointments or you dread going to the appointments. All of that is information for you, telling you what you like and what you don't like, where you feel safe and where you don't feel safe. All of that is information to help you thrive in this world. But we don't pay attention like that. We're not taught to pay attention like that. Honestly speaking, when I read that quote and it said each person that appears to be bringing your life apart is actually helping you become whole, it's because you have this innate ability, this in-ground instinct to fight and protect yourself. Survival of the fittest? Yeah, that's a real thing. And yeah, it comes through in emotions too. You don't have to fight with your fists to find a way to survive. It could be the fact that you throw a temper tantrum. Why? Because you need something, you want something. Something is missing in your life. Why do people cheat? Because they're missing something in their relationship and they don't feel like they can ask for it. They don't feel safe enough to ask for what they want. They feel this pressure. They feel possibly that, they might be judged or shunned or made fun of or humiliated. Any one of a million things. But if you don't feel like you're getting one of your needs met in your relationship, of course you're going to gravitate toward where you do get those needs met. This is why people will leave 80% to get the 20% they're missing, because that 20% is a lot more important than they've been letting on all this time. I want you guys to understand, you are hardwired to protect yourself. You are hardwired to be happy and to love yourself. It is the outside world that tries to convince you otherwise. And anytime you run into somebody that makes you feel small, makes you feel insignificant, makes you feel like, you know what, you don't know anything. What the fuck is wrong with you? You're just fucking stupid, aren't you? Anytime you run into somebody like that, you will feel the need to fight back, because deep down you do love yourself. Deep down you do love everything about you. No, it might not all be perfect. But based on the perfection that you're trying to achieve, that's not from within you, that's from outside of you. So please, trust me when I say, the people in your life will show you how to love yourself. And yes, it will be the bad relationships that teach you faster, unfortunately. So I hope this makes sense. You got any questions, please drop them in the comments below. But in the meantime, you guys, know that you are hardwired to protect yourself. You are meant to be happy because you are enough as you are right this minute. So might as well stop fighting it and learn to love yourself. I love you. I'll catch you later. Bye.